What's up, YouTube? So, can crypto YouTubers go to jail for misrepresenting crypto? That's a huge question, and we're going to answer that today according to what the SEC sees and what they're doing. We know that this is all coming up because of the drama surrounding BitBoy suing a smaller YouTuber for, I guess, defaming him, and the internet came alive with all of this. So what we're going to do is answer the question, could you go to jail for misrepresenting? Especially when it comes to talking about crypto projects that are indeed scams. I'm going to give you my thoughts, going to give you the answer coming right up. All right, friends, Wes Spencer here. Thank you guys so much for joining in today's video. We're going to talk about the depth and details of what's going on around the crypto universe with people that have been taking sponsorships and declaring certain cryptos awesome in the future and putting their name and influence behind them while simultaneously getting paid to say those nasty things. Can you go to jail for that? What's going to happen to some of those people? Well, let's take a look at what's been happening a little bit in the world around us. I covered this yesterday on my channel around the slime that's been happening in the cryptoverse. And, you guys know I'm no huge fan of many of the mega YouTube influencers that are out there because they're simply taking big cash and big crypto to tout and blow up certain crypto projects, which, look, it's fine to take sponsorships, but when you start putting your name behind unknown, uninvested crypto projects, and you pump them up and they fail, you're responsible for that, for sure. So looking at the latest news, this came out yesterday from Coinbase or CoinDesk. It looks like BitBoy Crypto says he's dropping the defamation suit against fellow YouTuber. Yeah, no crap, dude, because you don't have the money to continue going after him when he literally had hundreds of thousands of dollars spun up in his defense. And I can promise you, had that lawsuit gone any deeper, many more hundreds of thousands would have come up. I mean, it was like the entire internet came alive defending Ortiz for his defense for all of this. And of course he dropped, and there's some interesting things that came up about all of this. One of the things that BitBoy said is, I didn't understand that my name is now so big that if I follow a lawsuit, I would be found and it would be found and made public. Yes, you did know that. You don't file a lawsuit against someone and expect it to be a private, quiet affair. No, you're so narcissistic that the only thing that you think can happen is you're going to prove yourself right and you're going to strong arm a smaller YouTuber into shutting their mouth. The truth is that BitBoy did promote some scams. There's no question about it. This was going to be a frivolous lawsuit from the beginning, and I'm glad to see that a lot of people came together to put some funds there to protect him, the younger, smaller YouTuber, Ortiz, so that he could have the ability to stand up for himself. Now, what's the outcome of this? One of the things I wanted to share before I answer that question, what's going to happen to crypto YouTubers that are taking money and hyping up projects? Look at this. It's not been good for him. So I kind of wondered, I thought, well, maybe he's doing this as a publicity stunt. Maybe BitBoy's clearly just doing this to get the views, right? People do this kind of stuff all the time as negative news because it draws eyes. Well, it does look like he's been hemorrhaging. It looks like, and if we'll see if they're right with Social Blade, but it looks like he hemorrhaged over the past few days, over 10,000 subscribers. Total views are in the red. So he's definitely been going down, 4.8% reduction downward of total views over the past 30 days as people are unsubscribing from him and moving on. Now, look, you do what you want. I'm not telling you to subscribe or unsubscribe to BitBoy or any other crypto YouTuber that's out there, including myself. You should follow the people that you like, but recognize that none of them, including this guy here, have any clue what we're talking about, especially when it comes to financial advice, because we're not your financial advisor. And the last thing you should ever do, and I say this on all my videos, or many of them at least, is if you listen to a crypto YouTuber, you're going to go broke. So don't do it, okay? So now here's the big question. Is this stuff illegal? And what kind of trouble are people going to get into, if any at all? Well, here's the answer. Are people going to go to jail for misrepresenting cryptos? I don't think so. By and large, we've never seen that precedent. Certainly it could happen if you see direct Ponzi schemes that have led to like Bernie Madoff levels of fraud, which there's kind of a few that are rolling around right now, like Celsius. We'll happen to see what happens with all of those. But I do know this. take a peek at this right here. This comes from seclaw.com. And here's the thing, touting is illegal. You may wonder, what is touting? So the SEC has been pursuing those who illegally tout stocks on the internet for over 20 years, but the conduct continues, right? So people getting out saying, buy this stock, this is going to be the future, this is going to 20x, make sure you buy it now. That's called touting. And that is a huge no-no. The typical case ends in a series of fines and the entry of a permanent injunction. If you don't know what that is, they basically a takedown saying you can never talk about stocks ever again as a promoter. You're out, you're done. And that's where, you don't want to break that, right? The Securities Act of 1933 gives some authority, especially when the injunction comes that you're not allowed to do this ever again. You better not break that, because that's where, of course, jail time could theoretically come about, right? So they talk about this, but the question is, well, this is stocks, right? Like, what about crypto? So is touting crypto illegal? I am going to tell you, my friends, that yes, it absolutely is. Take a look at this. This is right from the SEC's website. This is one example of many, but look, we are right on sec.gov. Look at this, ICO listing website charged with unlawful, there it is, touting digital asset securities. Bam, there it is. So yes, the crossover from stocks over to crypto absolutely hold true. You can read all of this if you want, but there's an SEC order against coinschedule.com, which I don't know anything about them. I've never used them, but they operated in the US and they did some stuff that the SEC did not like. You can see all of this here about the credibility kind of components. And the end result out of all of this is, as the SEC's order finds, CoinSchedule presented potential investors with seemingly independent profiles about token offerings when in fact they were being bought and paid for by token issuers. The securities law prohibits touting securities for compensation without appropriate disclosures to investors and is clear and long withstanding. Oh my gosh, where's like the bomb drop right here, right? You just heard it. This is where you should be shaking in your boots. If you're a crypto YouTuber or a Twitter or a Insta or wherever you do your wares, and you are taking funds and you're taking compensation without clearly disclosing, you are in some trouble. You need to be very, very careful about this. The SEC is clear. There's nothing wrong with taking compensation. But when you are not disclosing that you're taking compensation in return, you're going to be in a up the creek without a paddle, for sure. Look at this. Without admitting or denying to the SEC's findings, Blotix, I guess that's the company, whatever, we can scroll down. They agreed to pay $43,000 in disgorgement plus prejudgment interest and a penalty of $154,000. So about $200K here, all told. Wowzers, right? And it goes on. If you go back up here and you just go over to all of their press releases, and what I did was I just put in crypto right here. There are probably better ways to search for this, but go check this out for yourself. Look at all of the press releases, I don't know about injunctions, but fines that exist. I mean, they're all over here. Here's one against NVIDIA. We saw one earlier against, there was, who was it? One of the crypto lending groups. Here's a $2 billion crypto lending securities offering fraud. I mean, you just look at all of these and see how many of these all exist. Here's one, SEC charges siblings in a $124 million crypto fraud operation that included misleading roadshows and YouTube videos. My gosh, there's all kinds of this stuff happening, right? Here's another example of one, 2 celebrities charged with unlawfully touting coin offerings. Once again, and these are 2 celebrities you're going to know of, Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled, right? So this happened way back in 2018, but they were touting some crypto. I forget what it even was. The Centra ICO. Never even heard of this garbage. But they were touting it, they were pushing it. And look what happens. Mayweather and Khaled agreed to pay disgorgement penalties and interest. Mayweather agreed to pay $300,000 in disgorgement and a $300,000 penalty and a $14,775 in prejudgment interest. Now, I know for a guy as rich as Mayweather, who probably gets paid $300,000 per punch, not a big deal, but still, that's pretty crazy stuff. And Khaled agreed to pay $50,000 and a $100,000 penalty and some interest fees, right? And then look at this. In addition, Mayweather agreed not to promote any securities, digital or otherwise, for 3 years, and Khalid agreed to a similar ban for 2 years. So I don't know if that's an actual injunction, but it's definitely, yes, we will not do that for the next few years. So this is the authority and power that the SEC has. Now, what does that mean for all these crypto YouTubers? I'm not calling any out specifically if you're watching this. I'm just telling you this. We know the SEC has increased their cyber people. We know the SEC has increased their crypto folks that are going after all of this and investigating these kinds of things. So I'd be shaking in my boots if I were you. And I think this is good for the industry. I want to see all these YouTubers go get fined that have been taking investments and taking compensation and simply not reporting it to their users. That is underhanded. That is slimy. And that is something that can absolutely be fined and punished by the SEC. And I hope it happens. I hope it happens with so many of them so that we can finally get a lot of this slime out there. There's nothing wrong. Hear me. There's nothing wrong with taking a sponsor from a crypto project. There's nothing wrong with taking their crypto for review as long as you disclose it and you're willing to put your name behind the reputation of that project potentially falling under, which I'm not willing to do for the most part. And also just understand that this could really be helpful in clearing out all of the slime that happens to exist here and maybe get us back to the point where we can watch YouTube videos and have some idea that, hey, there's no underhanded touting of this because they're being paid to do it. They're just trying to find great projects that interest them. And this is where I think we should end up. I will sometimes cover projects that are new and young, and sometimes people in my comments will be like, yeah, you're promoting this thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking any money for this. Those of you that have been watching my channel know for some time, I'm a tech entrepreneur. I don't need the money from YouTube. And so I don't need to be paid. I find the projects that I think are interesting and I cover them. If you like them, great. If you don't, no problems. I'm not telling you to buy any of them, and nor should you. You make your own decisions, talk to your own financial advisor, which is certainly not me. This is where we're going. And I don't think that we're going to see YouTubers go to jail over or prison over this, but I do think we're going to see a slew of fines come through. And I, for one, at least where they're needing to happen, I applaud them. Curious what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. And if you're one of those YouTuber influencers and you're a little scared, let me know what you think too, because you may have a fine coming your way. Thanks.